If there was ever something that could shock away the midweek doldrums, it's the sight of Charli XCX spitting on the floor as she performs the remix of Guess featuring Billie Eilish, only to dive to the ground and lick it up. Hygienic? Perhaps not. But is it Brat? Clearly. This is the opening night of the Brat tour, after all. Of course, this is a show many have been waiting for. While Charli's sixth album was only released earlier this summer, the record's impact, from its lime green-colored album cover, messy party girl aesthetic and subsequent co-option by political figures, has led to the kind of cultural dominance that most pop stars dream of. For Charli, it was a long time coming. Having spent most of her career as pop's most innovative outsider slowly inching her way into the mainstream, she finally shot into her imperial phase with the best album of her career. Watching her perform, however, that graft was clearly worth it. Tonight's show is a masterclass in stage presence. She forgoes the bells and whistles associated with an arena show. There are no backing dancers, no elaborate sets, and aside from support act Shygirl, who pops up at the beginning to perform their remix of 365, no special guests. Instead, for 90 minutes Charli is on stage alone. This is her moment of glory. The setlist is mostly Brat-focused, bulldozing through 360, Von Dutch and Rewind in a hedonistic rush. Even the somber I Might Say Something Stupid gets dragged into the fray, the song exploding with synths as Charli thrashes on stage. It is often relentless, but exhilaratingly so. When everything is romantic, speed drive and sympathy as a knife come like a shot of adrenaline. Girl, So Confusing and Apple get the biggest response, Charli taking a smoke break on stage during the latter, and there's a surprisingly moving tribute to the late producer Sophie when she performs the clubby remix of So I for the first time. The energy turns feral during Guess and gets messier during 365, Charli crawling with sweaty abandon along the catwalk. It's so wild that you feel like you've taken an intoxicated trip to some sleazy after-hours club. That she sells it while putting on one of the best shows of the year is proof of Charli's powers as a pop star. Charli XCX plays O2 Arena, London, the 28th of November, BP Pulse Live, Birmingham, the 29th of November, and OVO Hydro, Glasgow, the 2nd of December. Like those two artists, Charli can now command a stage on her own terms. Flanked by two huge screens and a runway that leads to a small B stage, with no band and no dancers, she is left to her own devices. The minimalism, paired with retina-melting strobe lights and the occasional puff of a smoke machine, gives the heavily sponsored arena the grimy feel of a warehouse rave. That's cemented by a frantic opening section that starts with a remix of 365, featuring fellow experimentalist Shygirl, and quickly crashes into the swaggering 360 I'm Your Favorite Reference, Baby. Shimmying in ruffled hot pants in front of a floor-to-ceiling fabric screen in, you guessed it, Brat Green, Charli suddenly yanks it down to reveal nothing but more space for her to stomp around. It's a neat reminder of how long Charli XCX has been around, and how far she's come. In between the hype woman overtures, I Can't Fucking Hear You, Louder, Bitches, and Is That All You've Got? Get more than one airing tonight. She tells us that one of her first gigs was in Manchester, to 10 people. As 20,000 fans roar back now, the 365 party girl allows herself a moment, thanks for sticking by me. It turns out sentimentality, like everything else, is so Brat.